I'm DigiBro, and this is the Rant Hole, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons wanted me to. You could be one of those guys and have one of these if you wanted to. This one's from Aaron Harris, who wants me to rant about Waposa's YouTube.com sub count being too low. Now, I went to Waposa's channel. It was completely incomprehensible. Seemed to be a bunch of inside jokes between a bunch of Australian teenagers that I had no context in which to understand. Is Waposa's YouTube sub count too low? Maybe. He only has 24 subscribers. That is a pretty low sub count even for somebody doing really obscure content. I'm sure someone would appreciate what's going on in this channel. It wasn't entirely absent of thought or quality. It was just incomprehensible to me as somebody who's an outsider and doesn't know Waposa personally or have any idea really what's going on the channel. None of the videos were about anything I know about that I would be drawn to watch, so probably why the sub count is so low. But I will say that I do think that YouTube, in general, channels that have, more creative or underground identities are not getting the view counts that they deserve. I don't know what Waposa's goals are. I don't know if he would even endorse this opinion. Hell, I don't know. I don't think this is Waposa, who's, I'm pretty sure he goes by his own name. I think he's also a patron. But, I don't think he's the one who made this request. But regardless of whether they would agree with, whether or not their channel had enough subscribers, just channels of this nature are kind of what YouTube was originally built on, is people doing very personal videos, people just uploading stuff to YouTube so that they'd have a place to put their things, and a lot of YouTube history sprang from that wellspring, from the wellspring of people just, I used to have a channel like this. My old Modal Soul Productions channel was just whatever I decided to upload, Sometimes it was like comedy videos, and sometimes it was just footage of me walking across the rails in Manila. I have a bunch of Manila rail videos. It's just me like walking down trains, or stuff that I uploaded for the sake of people in forums or shit like that, or home videos and stuff. And like, I think that stuff can be a lot of fun. Something that's so specific I don't even understand it is a little much, but like, there are so many of my favorite YouTube videos that are not productions. They're not from people trying to become famous. They're not from people trying to make money. They're not edited. They're not fucking, they're not high concept. It's just like a guy turned on his camera and said or did something funny. Or even if it is produced and edited, it is not trying to be mainstream. It's not trying to reach the most views possible. It's just like a silly idea. One of my favorite channels on YouTube is the Give and Take channel. My good friend Give and Take / Hypocrite. I love his Hypocrite channel, which is like the serious game review channel that he recently, he didn't shut it down, but he, indefinitely postponed it as an actual venture, as a business venture. But as much as I appreciate that channel, my favorite has always been his Give and Take channel, where he just posts what the fuck ever. And sometimes it's like a goofy little weird idea he had for some kind of mimetic short thing that had no expectations of anybody even clicking on it, but nonetheless it's one of the most fun things that I could have watched. Or even just hearing his personal thoughts on random things in his life that, probably people who don't know who he is won't really give a shit about. But like, aside from the fact that I do know who he is, I just think that his worldview and his decision-making process between how he decides to live his life, that he's always sort of inviting me through, through these videos, is fun to keep track of. And, I think that a lot of people get wrapped up in trying to follow the narrative of a YouTuber's growth. Like, people want you to succeed. They want to know you're working towards something. They want to see you, trying to craft a specific identity as a YouTuber. And I understand the allure of that, and even I can fall into that trap sometimes. But, like, I really appreciate the few people left who make content just for the fucking hell of it. just because they fucking feel like it. Because a lot of the times, that shit is way more interesting. Someone like Zen Huxtable, for instance, I look to, in his Philip channel, where, you know, it's so clear that these are, as I like to call them, psychic brain blasts, and not manufactured content. YouTube needs more of that. Waposa seems like he's, you know, in that realm. And he seems like a really young dude who, if he did decide to make something more accessible, or at least something that you could watch without having any context, it could potentially be enjoyable and something worth checking out. Maybe he would do that if he had more subscribers. Maybe he'll gain some subscribers from this video, because he only has 24. So I imagine any publicity is good publicity, even if everybody goes there and has no idea what's going on, like I didn't. Maybe you'll figure out what's going on. Maybe you're more patient than I am. I just kind of looked through a couple things. That's it for this rant. See you in the next one.